And we all going beautiful people. It's your boy, Mr. No Shame, out here today with the lovely Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Say what's up to the people, y'all.
What up, what up, what up?
Hey.
So listen, I had this question the other day, and and I was just like, what better couple to ask than you two? And I feel like this would be something that could help so many people out. So without further ado, we're just gonna get right into the questions. Y'all ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay. So the first one is, what is one thing you wish you knew before being a parent compared to after being a parent, right? What is like that one thing like you was like, man, I wish I knew to read some parenting books, or I wish I knew to, take, I don't know, a carpentry class to learn how to make a crib or something. I don't know. What is one thing from each of you that you feel like you wish you knew?
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
nah, you go first.
One thing I wish I would have known is it's okay not to have a support system because a lot of
Real quick,
times.
real quick. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, get up in the camera, girl. If you
Oh, you
talking,
think
I want to see you. If you
it's
talk, I gotta see you. So
okay?
when Taz talks, you just point it back to him. Boom.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing I wish I knew before having kids was it's okay not to have a support system
Hmm.
when having a kid because I had a kid when I was 21.
Oh wow.
22?
Okay.
Mhm.
I was
Okay.
22 when I was 22 when I had my first son. And
Oh. Okay.
I didn't have a lot of support. So, and I was just so fixated on, oh my God, when I have a kid, I'm gonna have all these parents, I'm gonna have my grandparents, I'm gonna have my sister, I'm gonna have my brother come, and I was just like telling him, like, yo, we're gonna have so much support. And I end up we end up having our first son and it was no one in the hospital. It was
Oh wow.
just us. So it's okay when you first starting out not to have support, but as you grow and as you learn, you will be around people that will be your community and kind of building you up and just being there. And then you make a lot of friends that you didn't even know that you would be friends with. So it's good. It's gonna be
I like
okay.
that. I like that. I like that. That was good. All right. All right. All right. What you got, Tay? What you got? What you
I'm
got,
good.
Mr. Smith? What you got, Mr. Smith? Miss Smith.
Uh,
Miss Smith just blew it out the water with that one. That was good. Support system clean. Don't worry about it, baby. We out here.
You got this.
yeah,
We
yeah.
got this.
What is one thing? I'm trying to think what I
Well,
would
one
tell
thing
my.
you wish you knew. Well, one thing you wish you knew before you was a parent. Now that you're a parent, one thing you wish you knew before being a parent. What is the one thing you wish you knew? One thing.
Because you was a wild boy, so
Maybe keeping
Yeah,
it calm. Maybe you know what I mean. Maybe not being too crazy. You know, learning to settle down a little bit or something. What do you think?
use protection. Nah,
I mean that's number one. Okay, that's number one.
that's the biggest one. Think with this mind, not this one.
That's a good one. I'm not mad at
Then,
that. That's actually a good one. Be realistic with like if you're in a place where you can take that risk,
yeah,
then
yeah.
so be it.
Take it.
But you know what I mean. But if you're not in a place where you can take that risk, then definitely
Yeah,
protect yourself. I definitely think that
yeah.
that's actually a valid, solid one. That is super good. Um, and just to take
It,
into
it,
account.
it's I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like being a parent, man, this shit don't come with instructions, right?
Yes.
When you become a parent, it's all a new experience. No matter, and you did make a good point, support system, or whatever, right? You can have support, but at the same time, the support that you have, you're still learning as you go. And that's like, yeah, we didn't have the support or whatever, but at the same time, I know people that have kids and have support system with their family, and they're still like, yo, how you do this? How you do that? You know what I mean? It's a learning process, man. As for me, someone that, I didn't grow up with mom and dad. I didn't grow up with my parents. To keep it real, I grew up in foster homes and group homes. So, when I became a parent, to me, it was just like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that they get everything they need. Shit that I didn't get. And one of the
And to be
things is
there.
and be there. And then
Mhm.
one of the things that I didn't really have is family, you know. And so to create my own tribe and to have a family and for them to know what love is and comfort and all that,
Mhm.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So that was really my thing. When I had a kid, I was like, yeah, I want my kid to have family, God, all those good things that you hear, that people say, but that was really my thing, man. Like I didn't regret it. I didn't freak out. I was just like, oh shit, well, here we go. I gotta.
You was like, if there's one thing I do know about before being a parent, it's that I want them to feel the love and family that I wish that I could have
Yeah,
had, type of thing. So
yeah,
like before
basically,
anything, I like that.
yeah. 'Cause
That's
like,
fire. I respect that. That's all love, baby.
um,
That's really good. So
even go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, because I wanted to know, because so you guys have how real quick, how many kids do you guys have? Three
So
or
we
two?
we have in total we have four, right?
Okay.
Um, I have three. Just to not make this shit confusing, I have a,
Okay.
I have a, I have three daughters. Well, my wife, I have two. Well, I have
Okay.
three. We lost one.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so now everybody knows. When we first had a kid, we had a son. His name was Matthew.
Mhm.
Um, Unfortunately, he didn't make it. In the beginning of our pregnancy. And that's something that we had to go through.
Do you
Until we
feel like
had
you guys
Kaden.
still go through that to this day? Do you guys feel like that's like something that, like it doesn't, is there really like is there a way to cope with it, would you say, or is that something that honestly like it's like always like
I,
it's like a scar, like it'll heal, but it'll always be there type of thing.
you will always think about it. It will always be there.
Mhm.
I could really and I could probably speak for my wife right now. I could honestly say that for men, for us, right? We could
One second.
we could
Wait,
get over.
say that one more time. Well, 1 second, 1 second. You would say something disconnected. My bad. All right, you would say because otherwise it's going to be a reverb. So you would say for men, start
So
from there.
so for men, basically for men, when things like that happen, we kind of want to be we have to be the support system, right? We have to support our woman, make
Yeah,
sure she's good, make sure her state of mind is good, because the reason for that is women go through more. Remember, they carry the baby.
yeah.
They feel, well, we can't feel that. We don't know what it is. We just know we put it in the oven and we gotta wait till 9 months till it gets here, right? So
Honey, you
yeah,
good?
that's
It's not
all.
out yet.
Yeah, exactly. So for women, they go through more. They think about it. They have that experience that we will never have as men. And so that's something that I know I could move on upon my day. The birthday come, I could think about it, pray about it. But I know for her, it's more sensitive. What I mean, it's a sensitive topic. Um, and that's something that we gotta just continue to be strong with each other and support each other. And then, unfortunately, we got blessed with another son, and that's Caden. And when we got Caden was also almost close from not making it. Unfortunately, he did make it. He was born at 4 months. That's like what, 24 weeks, right?
24
He
weeks.
was born after 24 weeks. My son was probably the size of this can,
Yeah.
honestly.
Same.
He was real tiny. So that's another thing we had to go through. Is like, oh man, what's gonna happen? There's times that we walked in that hospital and we saw the heart rate go from 109 to 7,
Holy
like literally.
smokes. So
It
I
just
wanna ask you, I wanna ask you real quick on that one. Um, I'm so, well, first of all, I want to say I'm so happy that, you know, I know something like that can actually, separate a family a lot of times.
yeah,
But I'm happy that for you two, it's kind of something that brought you out together because you were very, cognitive of how your wife would be feeling during this time. So it was very much just like, I understand, as opposed to like you isolating yourself and her isolating herself. And so I'm so happy that that happened for y'all. And to expand it on on your, on the true survivor, you know what I mean? Out here, truthing it. Um, I want to expand on that. So, you guys, do you find it to be a little bit more difficult to be parents of a child that has special needs? And if so, what is an example from both of you, or if you guys both think the same thing, what is an example of how it is difficult?
Um, Having a special needs child is very difficult for the simple fact of, well, our son is nonverbal, so not only he has special needs, he can't communicate. So it's hard to communicate with him. He has CP, and that affects the way his body moves, affects his brain because CP is basically a child that has or a kid that has a brain injury. So that affects
Oh.
the body, the way they move, affects their muscles and stuff like that.
Like motor skills
So
and stuff. And
yeah, the
yeah,
motor
okay.
skills, talking. So that alone is just a challenge by itself because anybody in like a normal world, I would say, because I feel like Caden, my son, is different because it's a different type of world. It's like more inclusive and it's just so different. Like you have to experience it to just understand where I'm
Yeah,
coming from.
Mhm.
Like the love is different, communicating is different.
yeah.
Just interacting is different compared to my other
Yes.
child that can talk and tell us what they want and stuff like that. So it's challenging.
It's a different source of connecting.
Yes,
Yeah.
it definitely is. It
It's the
definitely
whole, the whole different world, man. Like it really is. Like, like she was saying, like physically, our oldest daughter, she could tell us, "I love you,"
is.
you know. And it's a whole, it's good. It's good and it's bad, right? It's good because, like, like I told her, like we get to experience two different meaning of love, right? We get to meet one that's physically where our oldest daughter could say I love you, and then for our son, it's he has to express it by whether it's touch, whether it's looking at you a certain way, whether it's smiling. It's a different type of love that a person who has a normal child can never experience that because they only experience that one type of love. Where we get to experience
Two different
two
worlds.
different two different worlds, two different love. It's not easy, man. I really give it up to all the special needs parent out there because it's really, you know,
It's really
it's
hard.
hard, man.
It's
It's challenging,
challenging.
bro. It challenges yourself as a person. You know, I'm gonna
It's
be honest.
challenging,
Me,
but it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely
it's
not
not impossible.
impossible. It's definitely not impossible.
Like for me, I never had patience, man. And like you remember from working
Yeah.
you remember from working at Ripley's, man. Like I have no fuck. If you want to bleep that out, that's cool too. But man, no fuck.
Yeah.
Um, and as for my son, he really grew into me where now I have patience, man. Where I have no choice. I have to learn how to have patience because I'm dealing with somebody that, can't say, hey, pass me this soda. Like, he has to show me if he's thirsty or I have to read him, to understand what is he thinking, what does he want. Um, so it can be challenging even with sleep. We don't get sleep, man. We really don't. We look awake, but
Sleep.
yeah, I got Pepsi and she got Sprite. We on caffeine all day. Um, but that's because we got to do what we got to do, man. They only got us. Our kids only got us. We're the only one that can understand them. Everybody else, yeah, they could be here, whatever. But we got to do what we got to
Got
do.
to.
And yeah,
I
man.
like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So listen, for this last question, it's the last one, last Mohegan right here, okay? For any new parent out there, any or expecting or wanting to expect, what is a piece of advice that you would give? Just and it's got to be quick tidbit, one of those little small thing to let them know to be prepared for. And it sounds like one of them is sleepless nights. But
No, it
whatever you
is.
like, what is another one? Let me get one more from y'all. What did y'all to be prepared for?
Um,
the world. Be prepared for the world that the challenges that your kids are about to get, because we could only teach so much that once you let, it's like, when they say, when the bird, you gotta let the bird go to learn how to fly, right?
Hmm.
So we can only do so much as a parent and teach them and discipline them, because once they out in this world that we live in, bro, they they on their own, man. And it's hard, bro. It's not easy. So um I know I'm kind of going off subject. But yeah, I would say the world, man. Like,
No, that's good. No, that's
get
good.
ready, get ready for the challenges that your kids are about to face. We can't control we can't control the other kids, right? Like, for example, when your kids go to school, you can't control another kid bullying your child. You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you have to cheat the child. Like, there are bullies out there. There are people that's gonna pick on you, whether it's the color of your skin, whether it's how you look,
You have to
whether
be prepared
anything.
to have those conversations, those real world
Real
conversations, real world
conversation,
interactions. Like, yo, they may
you
go
know.
through some stuff, and
And then you got to think about it. We
you
live
have to
in a
be
world
prepared for
now
that.
where everything is fucking social media.
It's true.
Things are gonna get it. You can protect your child all you want, but they could get exposed by just swiping. And now you got to answer those questions and face those challenges. Like, damn, man, you got to be prepared for that. So, yeah, like, I would honestly be prepared for the world, man. Like,
I think that was beautiful. I think that's a solid one. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That was great. Yo,
bro, you got
Mrs.
one
Smith.
hour?
You
Uh,
got one? You got one, Miss Smith?
yeah,
Go ahead. What you
yes.
got, girl? Talk to me.
It's gonna be short.
Go ahead.
To give yourself grace, like as a first time parent, you really have to give yourself grace for the simple fact that being a first time parent, everything is going to feel so overwhelming because this is our first time doing being a parent, our first time having our baby, our first time having a baby, watching another human. So give yourself grace, take your time, don't feel guilty about the things that you thought or think that you can do better. Just do the best you can, and the next day you get up and you try again to be better, 1% better every day. That's all I gotta say.
I got one more to add, though. This is important, and this is important. It's very important. Just because you're a parent, right, doesn't mean you're perfect. Doesn't mean you're always right about everything,
Mhm.
right? Because we're not. We learn as we go. Like I say that in the beginning, we learn as we go. So learn to, when you become a parent, learn to understand your child. Don't treat your child like, oh, I'm the parent and you're the child. You gotta listen. Da da da. No, that's not always the point. Sometimes I feel like parents get in defensive mode, and because they're labeled as the parent, that they always have to be right about certain things, and it's not. Sometimes we can learn from our child, from what they're telling us, or whatever the case may be. So learn to listen to your kid, learn to understand your child, and believe me, your the bond between y'all will be incredible.
It'll be
Never,
unbreakable.
yeah, be
It's
unbreakable.
true.
You know what I mean? Like, learn to
I feel that.
communicate. Instead of saying you're wrong, you're grounded, like, learn
I
to
feel that.
learn to teach them as well while you're telling them, like, the reason you can't have soda, well, it's, there's a lot of sugar, it's bad for your teeth. Explain it instead of saying, no, you can't
No.
have soda, it has too much sugar. Like, learn to go upon it. You know what I mean? And like I said, we're not perfect. We make mistakes as parents too, man. And that's what we have to teach our kids too. Like, hey, we're not always right.
It's all
Mommy and daddy do make
communication.
mistakes.
It's in the communication.
I've seen a lot of parents that do that, and I just be like, and then in the future, you wonder why your daughter or your son ain't talking to you. You know what I mean? Or not messing with you
That low
because
key resentment, They don't
they
want to talk to
remember.
you. Why they want to talk to you if every time they talk to you they wrong?
Yeah, every time you
I
don't let me talk, you're always saying you're right, I'm wrong, so it's just true fact, man. I've seen it happen, bro.
I
Like,
like that. I
no,
like that. So I think, man, I knew. I was like, they would be great, and I knew y'all would be. Y'all were amazing. Thank y'all so much. Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Smith, y'all rock. I appreciate y'all. This is Mr.
Thank you
No
for
Shame
having me.
with, I'll catch y'all in the future, baby. Oh man. Look at that baby. Killing it. Future.